I mean, Fatima, she straight up handled Damani. She kind of scared him. Yeah, but I don't have to worry about the old new girl anymore.
Ooh, good. I'm glad she did his ass in. Fatima seems to be a superhero.
Listen, I'm really starting to like her. I think she's becoming one of the girls.
Oh, I love that.
All right, Sistas fans, hope everybody's doing well. I am trying to stay warm. It is snowing in my area of Virginia for the past, I don't know, well over a decade. We typically don't get snow until like the new year, where it's a little taste of all the different elements. And then maybe we'll get something in late January around Valentine's Day and maybe a couple inches in March, and then it's gone. But no, to actually have snow in December has thrown us all off. But don't worry about me. I don't need to go out anywhere. I've already gotten groceries, dumped the trash, got the mail, all that good stuff. Nephew is getting a 3-day weekend, so he's stuck here. My mom isn't going to work at all, so don't worry. Lights are on. It's just 3 or 4 inches outside, and it's still going. But just wanted to say, I slept 9 hours. I went to bed like at 7 last night, and I woke up at a little after 5, so probably well over 9 hours. But just to let you know, I'm in a relatively good mood. And I'm talking about a part of this recent episode of Sistas that I really didn't care for, but I wanted to highlight. And it has to do with Sabrina, as you saw in the opening clip of this video. I mentioned it on Twitter and in my live stream about this particular scene. I will admit, though, I do have a different perspective on this episode since it's been a couple of days, because reading the comments on my trailer breakdown for next week, I know my opinions are not popular. I am not looking forward to the next episode, being that it's just the girls getting drunk and no doubt making reckless decisions. On top of that, you know, at the end of this last episode, Andy ranting about men being liars and everything, and somebody reminded me, it's like, well, Jeremy, I like the episode coming up because at least it won't be forced drama. And I'm like, well, that is something I've called this season out for a lot. And not to mention, we did just come off of the heavy storyline. I mean, episode 19, I would put that as one of the best episodes of the entire series. You know, where Karen and the ladies give their testimonies about Dr. Cruz. And it was a very important episode. But it just feels like a major come down, knowing that Karen is about to leave. And we're just going to have these ladies, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a guy. And, you know, Andy doing her seasonal rant of men ain't nothing. But here she goes, no doubt going to make a dumb decision along with the other girls. But whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I want to talk about another potential bad decision, and that's about Fatima being one of the sisters officially. Or let me just say that, let's talk about the initiation, it seems. Sabrina tells Maurice about the whole situation involving Damani and the embryos and how Fatima, you know, did her thing to teach him a lesson. And, you know, Maurice compares her to like a superhero. And then for Sabrina to go, yeah, I'm really starting to like her, and it's like she's finally becoming one of the girls. And I honestly feel some kind of way about that, due to the fact that it just seems like in order to be quote unquote initiated into this sister circle, you have to literally save one of the girls from something. I mean, that to me, if you take away the funky demeanor that Andy had when Fatima started doing those sport contracts, these two have been good for seasons now. And as far as Danny goes, she's always thought, well, as Karen would call her, Danny always thought Fatima was a cool chick. It's just that Sabrina was the floater, where, you know, obviously her allegiance would be to her girls, but if Karen had an issue with Fatima, Sabrina didn't really care too much. But then again, when I think about the mocktail party in season 7, when Fatima showed up, Sabrina was all smiles and hugs. Not to mention during the 3-month time jump between season 6 and 7, I believe it was Zach that confirmed that whenever the girls would hang out and Karen couldn't make it, Fatima was like the bench warmer. Like, hey, we're about to have a sister function. Karen says she can't come. Do you want to come on? That's what it felt like. But yeah, I mean, even before Fatima stepped in to help out Danny with the whole I ran over a guy, you know, when she crashed her car into Jonah's car, Danny was cool with her. This did nothing but solidify that, oh yeah, Fatima's down. I'm down with Fatima. But like I said, before even that, Danny was cool with her. And as far as the Andy goes, like the list of times Fatima has saved her butt, even without her knowing it, I can't even begin to list them all out. And then with Sabrina, well, I could be wrong, but I don't think Sabrina knows that Fatima got her cousin Madam to help out Andy with the whole talking with, getting the judge to allow her to talk with Sabrina. And Fatima was indirectly responsible for the dominoes that fell into place that allowed Sabrina to get out of jail. I know I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, but I just didn't like that line. That's just me personally. I just didn't like it because it feels like the only reason we're going to see Fatima officially become part of the circle next season is because Karen is no longer there. And what's wild to me is that now Karen and Fatima have a deeper bond seemingly than any other girls do. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? It's just as ridiculous as when Laura and Steve became a couple at the end of Family Matters. It's like, no, it just does not work. I'm talking Nikki Parker and the professor getting together at the end of the Parkers. It's just like, what in the world? After all these seasons of hell, you're telling me that enemies went to friends like that. I mean, it's an age-old story, but I don't know. And some people are like, well, Jeremy, this is Sabrina we're talking about here. Are you sure you want to take what she says seriously? You drive a good point. But yeah, it just doesn't seem right. I mean, how would you feel if the only way you can get accepted into a certain clique or group of people is to like save their butts when nobody, when they have their back up against the wall? I don't know. And keep in mind, I joked about this online, but I'm thinking that I hope this isn't real. Like, if Andy kept that funky demeanor that she's had for the bulk of the season, I bet she'd be pissed off that Sabrina got saved by Fatima instead of her. It's like, why didn't you come to me? Well, Andy, you were in the midst of helping Karen, remember? And I needed help right then and there. And Fatima, I went to her and she just did it. And to be honest, a lot of people have been saying the same thing. Fatima was bluffing. And in her bluffing, she proved to be an effective attorney more so than even Andy. So, I don't know. But how do you feel about, Sabrina's statement regarding now that she's starting to really like Fatima? Because it's like, well, this has been the basis of the sister circle since the beginning. You are only as loved as you are valuable, aka as long as you serve a purpose. As long as I can use you for something, you are welcome into the group. But once your usefulness has dried up, I'm done with you. Which goes into what Penelope said. Your friends are liars, manipulators, and hypocrites, but those are fighting words apparently. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.